So, Sean, we've got the amazing and beautiful Maurillia Simpson with us today.
We have, Taff. I'm really excited. Hello, you, my darling. Are you well?
I'm definitely well. Just to see your smiling, beautiful face, Sean.
Oh, bless you. Maurillia, tell us all about yourself, sweetheart.
I was a little girl growing up in Trinidad and Tobago at the age of 7. I saw the Queen and Prince Philip on a royal visit.
I saw the Queen as well. When I was 4 years old, I was living in Malta. My dad was serving in the army. I remember seeing this big car driving past all the flags, and it was exciting, wasn't it?
That's what I thought. I thought that she was waving at me, and I told my mom, one day I'm going to live where the Queen lived and be a soldier.
At the age of 7, you always had that dream. That's amazing.
Always had it, no matter what. I said, I'm going to do it. Even when I went to school and stuff, I started to, you know, learn to march, and I'll be pretending I'm one of them. And my mom would be saying, stop your stupidness. What you doing? I saw the advertisement, be the best you can. Join the British Army. And I did. And I did 13 years in the Royal Logistic Corps. And I had an unbelievable career.
Can you join the army actually in Trinidad, Maurillia?
You can see advertisements, but then you need to travel to St. Vincent because that is one of their recruitment centers. I thought England was like Trinidad. So I was like just going to a neighboring island, not knowing England was thousands of miles away.
And then you fly to England and you land at Heathrow Airport and you think, this ain't Buckingham Palace.
Correct. That's exactly what I did. I stayed on the plane. I told the pilot, I'm waiting to go to England to join the army. And he was like, you are here. I went, no, this is Heathrow Airport. This is not England. It needed to say England Airport. I was in shorts and T-shirt waiting for the sun to come out. And I came over in January. So it really was a shock. I left the plane with about 10 blankets around me.
So what was it like the first few weeks of being in the army? Was that a shock?
No. I think I was so open and welcoming to it. You know, said my Pledge of Allegiance, got my date for starting, you know, Purbright, and I was like ready to go. I was doing it not only for me, you know, I was doing it for me and the family. I found out that Iraq was kicking off way down in 2002. So we started to get onto training for Uptalik 1. I think the reality stepped in then. I was actually in war. That 3-letter word really came front and center for me. I just always thought being a soldier was marching, saluting the Queen, you know, because growing up, that's what I saw. To ring my mom from here to Trinidad to say, Mom, you know the news and what you've been hearing, it is actually happening and I am going to be in it. She was lost for words, lost for words. All she said was, you couldn't go to England and do knitting.
When you said the word war, and I remember when the bomb went off and I was a young soldier in the barracks, I remember thinking, wow, they're trying to kill soldiers and that now includes me. Now I was part of the equation, kill or be killed.
Psychologically, what was happening with you, Maurillia? Because now you're a woman from Trinidad in the in Iraq in the middle of the war. So how did other people treat you and were you getting anxious?
Neil, my brother, that is such a good question because female soldiers do end up in the front line. The local community was so amazed. They couldn't believe that I was Black, female, and in the army. They kept touching my skin, touch my hair. They were making signs, you know, like woman, and you doing the same thing as the men. So they were really shocked and blown away in Abtalik 1. I was deployed on a convoy and we were heading to Baghdad. I was the lead vehicle. We ended up in the middle of a minefield. That is what comes back prominent for me, as well as being in Romeo 4 all the time. We wasn't sure in that period what rockets that they were shooting at us.
It was either had explosives or it had dangerous chemicals in. That was the thought.
Correct. Abtalik 8, it was different. I faced more aggression. Why you didn't? They were saying I was going against how God wanted a woman to be. I was actually committing a sin. So it was like, oh, no, you gonna be cursed.
God, so you were getting that and you were getting shot at.
And imagine having that to deal with, and then having the fact that I have to protect myself. I have to protect my comrade.
So you ended up as a corporal, didn't you, Maurillia?
Correct, I did.
How many tours did you do in Iraq?
I ended up doing 3 tours of Iraq, Abtalik 1, Abtalik 8, and Abtalik 13.
So I'm assuming as you went back to Iraq for the second or the third time, things would have changed quite a lot, wouldn't they?
Nobody had a clue of how long it was going to last. So when I went back in 2006, then I would be deployed as a frontline communication specialist. It was proper warfare. We needed to go and attack this area, go and clear this area. As a corporal, you get to be a section commander. You had to make sure that safety and life preservation was the top priority.
Not only were the civilians antagonistic towards you, but what about your fellow soldiers? How did they treat you?
It was mixed, to be honest. When I first joined, it was tough. The first 5 years of my career, it was mentally, emotionally, and physically tough. It was. Being Black, having an accent, as they used to say, sounding funny, pretending that I was British. They used to actually make mockery of how I used to speak and always making different signs. I didn't know how to deal with it because it was the first time of me experience racism. Because Trinidad, we are a cosmopolitan country. So we have all races living in Trinidad. So coming and being a part of this massive family in the military that I thought I was, I realized that I was different. It was really, really, really tough. And I reported it. And all I got was, you are the one who wanted to come to England and be a soldier. So deal with it. This is how it is. And I was like, okay, I guess I had no choice. So I took most of it. I didn't know any different.
So here we have a beautiful young kid who sees the Queen in Trinidad Tobago. All her dreams are ahead of her. She goes into the UK. She has to face racial abuse. She has to go to Afghan, face cultural differences and be put on the spot.
Yes.
And then when we opened up, you said to us, I'm lucky to be here today to tell the story.
Correct.
What happened, darling?
Well, it was back in Abtalik 8. I was on guard duty, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and we embraced each other, and we said, not long to go, we're almost home. And I remember we parted, and I started to hear these whistles, you know, this was... Then I saw 2 incoming rockets, and all I had the time to say was, incoming, incoming, and I hit the floor. Tucked myself in as much as I can. Darkness. That was all I saw. Darkness. I thought I was dead. I only had one regret. I didn't get to tell my family goodbye. And then I remembered a song that my mom used to sing to us while we were growing up. His eyes are on the sparrow, and I know he watches over me. And I started to sing it while buried underneath all this rubble, thinking the more I sing, they will hear me and know that I was thinking about them, saying that I loved them. And the darkness still was there, the stillness. And then I heard voices, and then I heard noise. I thought, is this heaven? And all I heard them saying is, hang on in there, we are going to get you out. We are going to get you out. And they did.
Wow.
They got me out.
Were you rushed to hospital, stretchered out?
I was rushed to the hospital, correct. I was given fluids. I was told it was over 20 hours to get me out from underneath the rubble. I wasn't aware. I was just there, hoping that somebody knew I was there and that they knew I was still alive. Still have the small scars to remember where I was buried, but it's more the mental experience that I had to go through that has stayed with me all these years.
But you know, you're a fighter, and that's why I love you so much, my sister, because you are a fighter. You've turned your life around. You do some amazing stuff in life. I mean, the world is so much better with you today, and you know, I'm just blessed you're in my life, my sweet. You go on to stage, you've got a voice of an angel. You and I just did a bit on Songs of Praise. I'm so proud of you, kid, you know. You do have a military family, and I hope you understand that people love you terribly.
Getting into preparation for Afghanistan in 2010, I got injured in a RTA while posted in Germany and had my left leg ruptured, so I've lost the use of my left leg. When they told me I had to be medically discharged from the army at 13 years, back in 2013, November, they said, hand your keys in. They need my room, my single room, because I was still in the barracks. I had no way to live. They said, you need to go, that's it. I was still waiting on surgery for my injury. They said, if I went home to Trinidad, they would not support me medically. Where do I go? Who do I turn to? Let me go home to Trinidad and have mental, physical support until I get my date for my surgery, and then I will come back home to England.
Must have been a huge shock for you, Maurillia.
They said, hand in my keys and thank you for your service. That was it. So when I left the gate, I had to sleep in my car for a very long time.
And how bad is your left leg? Can you walk?
I could walk, but I have to walk with a stick. But it have some days where I cannot physically walk at all. So I use my wheelchair. My injury is full of so much uncertainties. When I take the meds, I am still able to do little bits. The next second or the next half an hour, next 10 minutes, I can't walk. I can't just do the basic bodily functions normally. I felt so alone that I wanted to give up. I called mom and dad and I said goodbye because I was ready. I was so tired of fighting by myself.
Both myself and Sean have been in that dark, dark place. You don't really know what's going on in your head and you think, I just want to end it. You either bounce back or, as a lot of our fellow soldiers do, they actually go all the way and they commit suicide. Yeah. How deep did you go and when did you decide to turn back from that?
I can say I went the whole haul. I went to church the Sunday morning as normal. I praised and worshipped and I went, yeah, this is it. And I just felt in my spirit, I knew I was tired mentally, emotionally. I went to the gym, saw the guys that I train with. I went and trained with them for the last time. And then I got ready. I said, this is it. I put the chair on the balcony, stood up on it, on top of the balcony, and I was waiting for the wind to blow. And I was like this, looking up, waiting for the wind to blow. And the wind never blew.
Wow.
The wind never blew. I thought I could have handled it being here in England. Why all of a sudden I got so tired. And I think I just got so tired because of the pain and dealing with it by myself. I just really physically and emotionally just said, this is my quarter. I've had enough. I need to go and rest. And I just figured friends, family, loved ones like you guys would have heard and would have understood, because they would say, at least she's not in pain anymore. I realized then, I says, this is bigger than me. I really need to reach out and need help. And I reached out and I got introduced to TILS.
And I think, thank God, you know, it didn't happen because people don't understand, sweetheart, and they never will. The scars are left deep behind. There's no greater loss than losing somebody, and certainly through that means as well.
We have come back and we are not the same. All we are asking for is not to let us go.
We just got to get that little bit of support and belief again that we're still as good as we were before we joined the military.
And you've got to have structure, haven't you? Put around you like a uniform to keep you going every day, don't you?
Correct. I thought I was okay, but mentally I wasn't, because I didn't have that physical presence. I know now I've got TILS. I can lean on TILS.
You said TILS a few times. A lot of people watching this won't know what TILS means, but was that the same Pancreas Veterans Mental Health Clinic you went to?
Yes, it's like, wow, I am not alone.
You know, tremendously tough, but because to have that, those initial couple of years when people were questioning your sexuality and your colour, you stuck it out and battled and became a full corporal.
What message have you got for anybody out there that's struggling like we all did back in our day?
I've got brothers in arms, as well as brothers who care. I never knew I had, but it is great to know that I am not alone. Well, and thank you. I love and appreciate you guys so much.
Simi, you just rock me, kid. I love you, kid. I really, really do. You just light up things.
Maurillia, you sang While You Were Buried Alive.
Yes.
Could you sing the first verse for us?
I say, because I'm happy, I sing, because I am free, for his eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me.
You've just moved me, kid. You've really moved me. I'm just thought it's beautiful.